Hello, hope all is well. Now, this video is going to contain some information about you planning your business, okay? Business planning. I get plenty of people reaching out to me about planning a business or grant writing, grants, you know, contracts, whatever it is that they want to do in their business. But the most critical part and the most important part is getting those thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Now, if you want to scale and if you want to go and take your business to another level, another stratosphere, this is what you need to do. And this is why March 1st, 2023, this is when this video is being produced. I want you to just January and February is already gone, but I want you to have a little anchor here, have a blueprint, have something that you can carry on the rest of the year into December, because we're 10 months away from 2024, and 10 months ago, there go extremely fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some things, and any of this information that we're getting ready to go over, that we're getting ready to talk about a business plan or about you planning your money magnet blueprint. This is all about. Is when you plan this, it's going to help you be very successful in it, and it's going to you're going to be put it this way, you'll be ahead of probably 80, 90% of the people that start businesses, because a lot of us think we know it all, think we don't need this. And I guarantee you, they don't tell you this, but they may not physically do a plan at the beginning, but they do a plan somewhere in the process, because they have to. You can't just wake up in the morning and not know what's going on in your business or not knowing what you're going to do. You can't wake up in the morning. If you do, then you're just going to barely be getting by. So now, any of this information that we're going to talk about, this is what Sandy Biz Strategist Sandy does as a profession. And then for the legal, like the CPA and the legal aspects of it, for as an attorney, no, I am not a licensed CPA and I'm not an attorney. So those I would have to refer you to. But just everything we're going to talk about is going to be your money magnet blueprint for your business plan. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start talking about some things. Now, a lot of times when you are in business and starting out, first thing a lot of you know you need to do is you need to pretty much get everything, get your ideas out and what kind of how you're going to brand yourself. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't have to be really, really thoroughly thought out, but you want to know how you're going to distinguish yourself, meaning what kind of logo you're going to have, what kind of colors you're going to have, what's going to be your business model, what's going to be what you're going to do. And all of this in the business plan and what we're going to talk about is going to help you answer every last one of those questions. Okay, if you don't have your location yet, where is your location going to be? Now, this is outside of you having your LLC and forming, you're getting your EIN number and getting your business bank account and getting, the all of the surface stuff that you need, or the foundational stuff that you need for your business. We're going to not talk about that right now, but we're going to talk about the meat and potatoes, the money magnet stuff. This is stuff that's going to draw you to, when you write it down, it's something magically happens when you write things down and then you're working towards those things. They're going to draw towards you. Okay. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're kind of like, we're getting off the bottle a little bit, but we're getting ready to start training ourselves to get some food, because a lot of you, I know this, I'm sure this can help you. Now, back to what I was saying is, if you need a brick and mortar location, and let's say if you need a brick and mortar location, you want to make sure that the lease agreement is going to be correct. You want to know how long, what needs to be done in that particular location. You need to study that location. You need to know everything about that location, the traffic. Sometimes, I don't know whether they do it or not in some areas, in some places they may do. The engineering department has the specific traffic lights stopped, how much traffic going through a certain area or, all parts of the day or the week or whatever. They have that information, whether they share it with you. Some of them can be a little information hoarding. I'm gonna be honest with you because I've had this to happen to a few of my clients in the past. Now, also, one more thing that, knowing about the inspection, knowing about the zoning, is it properly zoned, talking to some of the tenants that's already there, talking to them and finding out the lay of the land and, the character and the crime, the traffic, little things like that. And what, even if there's somebody else in the same plaza or facility or wherever you're going, what about the landlord? Well, what's going on with the other rental company, or who's renting not necessarily the landlord, who's renting the real estate company, the property management company, who's ever renting or leasing this specific space. How are they to deal with, for as they come fix things when they're broken? Your lease need to be thoroughly examined. And these are some of the things that I do go over with my clients. So now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, and this is all in your plan, and definitely in your plan is you need to have a structure. You need to have everything laid out about your mission, the insurance, the tax, the regulations, all of it. So we're gonna go over a little bit. We're gonna go a little bit, and like even when you're getting ready to physically write one out, your executive summary, that's one of the things that show what's your business, what's the business model of your business. That need to be last, because along the way you have to write all these things out, and you don't know them yet, but you need to make sure that they're all written out. Okay. Now, some more things that you need to know about it, basically giving an overview of your business. What is who's the owner, or what is, let's say, for instance, in the future, you may want to get a loan, or you may want to get something or grant, or, some kind of funding to help you. They want to know about the person that's going to be running this facility. If not the person that's running this facility or, business or whatever, do you have a team that can do the work? Are there qualified people that can handle this business? How, and then two, it all depends on what type of business it is, because some businesses are hard to get loans than others. I think I talked about that on another big video of mine, that some places are not as easy fundable as some businesses. So you have to be, particular on your NAICS code. And your NAICS code is the code that the banks go by, that, that pretty much it's industry, it's a number for your industry standard. And even when you're getting government contracts, they definitely want to know your NAICS code. So it's best that you know your NAICS code. And here again, this is everything I go over with my clients. I talk to them about this stuff. Your mission statement. What is your mission statement? What is this business all about? You need to determine that, and you need to know that, and you need to create that. Okay. So that's just some of the things there for whatever business you have. And then also knowing who's your competition, because when you are in business, you need to know a little bit about how can you add value that another company is not adding, or that another person is not giving, or then you can stand out. And to be honest with you, that can help you in the long run and in the short run or the short term or whatever. That can help you to it can help you to get your buying base. It can help you to get your future customers. Okay. Along with everything else you have to do. That's just, don't, you can put that in there too, because you're conscious of what's going on in your industry. And a good way, in my opinion, to know what's going on in your industry is knowing the overall picture, meaning knowing a little bit about what's going on with your competitors, what are customers saying about them, so you can kind of like do something a little bit better. Or it can also you can avoid things not to do, because you say, okay, these people, that this audience or this target market, they don't like this, so I'm going to come up with something creative. You understand what I'm saying? Creative, so where I won't have to worry about not meeting their desires. Okay. So that's why I said you need to know a little bit about your competitors, know about their hours of operation, know about what experiences they've had. And there's all kind of ways that we can find that out. But we'll talk about that later. But I'm giving you the overview, and I'm giving you something to think about when it comes down to planning, people. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, knowing what's going on in the industry for as trends. Well, is this certain things in your niche? Is it seasonal? So you want to stay on top of those things. You want to map out, you want to think of 12 months, the whole stretch of the year in your business. With me, when in the hair industry, during the first of the year, to me, my business has always been like maybe after the holidays, and sometimes coming up to the holidays, because it all depends. January and February are a different ball game for me. So I have to make up for that, or I have to find something else, that I can add into my business in order to be able to give them, and keep afloat. But sometimes in the past, it has been that way, and always pretty much, for me in that aspect. And then sometimes shortly during the summer, sometimes it was up and down too, but more so January and February than during the summer. So whatever your industry is, you take that same scenario and find out what's yours. Okay, whatever industry you're in. And that's good to have in your business plan, because you have already thought you already thought this thing out. Now, definitely. And this is what, and I don't think a lot of people maybe you do, maybe you have thought about it. In your operational plan of your business, you want to think about, okay, who do I need to hire? Am I going to be a one person right now? If I don't need to hire anybody, how am I going to implement the things that I need to do? But if you do need to hire a team, you need to have a job description for them. Boy, when you have this thing set up so professionally that you have all these things, how to onboard people, having the right forms. The IRS requires you to hire someone physically, having your standard of procedures, having your operational plans together, having everything. Create a little folder for your new, you get to, create you a folder for your new employee, the person that's going to come on board, just like it is when you get hired to a job. In the past, I'm sure you've gotten hired to a job and they give you a little package to fill out. That's no different for you in your business, especially if you're hiring someone. Then knowing that's a kind of like a little another conversation, but a little advanced conversation. Really, once you get them aboard and whatever, have a calendar, have it, when your quarterly payments are due, when the quarterly taxes are due for them, having this all together. Are you going to use a ADP, like somebody like ADP to do your payroll, whatever the case may be? You don't have to do it yourself, but all of this stuff need to be thought. All of this need to be well thought out and well planned. It really does. So, and like I said, whoever you're going to need, what kind of credentials do they need to have? Can you have them working? You can't have undocumented workers and all these kind of things. You have all kind of forms. You need to know every last one of the forms that the government requires of you in order to have someone working in your business. That you need to know. And each state has different rules and rules, and each state have a lot of different things. So now getting down to the legal person or somebody that you can kind of like talk to in your industry, in your niche, and just kind of like give them a call, have them say, hey, I may need you on retainer. Talking about an attorney now. Yeah, I may need you on retainer. This is my business, da 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 da, and let them know, that in the future you may need their services, or you may need their help with something, and find out what they charge you, what it's going to be, especially those that are in high, like a child care center, or somebody in places like that, or you doing something pertaining to the government. You really, really have to go above and beyond to have an additional, you got to have an additional checklist of things that they're going to require on the state level. So whatever business you're in, and if it's something like, it's not, it's, to me, maybe because I'm I'm just in this vein here, or this is what I do. It's not as hard as you think it is. It's just sitting down, taking the time out and finding out what's required of you. What's the state license have to have? How many workers have to have? Who has to have to work what? Especially in something like a childcare center, a daycare center, or something like that. And there's a lot of other professions, like a nursing or any kind of, accounting, any kind of professional business, construction contracting, there may be like trucking industry, they have to have certain license, all that kind of stuff. All those things you need to know within your state. What do they require for this particular position? What this person has to have. And you need to have a copy of it in your files if you're going to hire somebody within, because I think you got to a lot of times you have to have all of that information before you can even physically be licensed, or get the stamp of approval that you can run your business, with a certain businesses, so that, and then having every one of your employee contact information. All of this is a part of your plan. And this is, I'm telling you, when you do this, you're on your way. Okay, now let's continue on of some more things. And let's just say, for instance, some of these professions that I just mentioned, they may require bonding, licensing bonding on a different level. They may require certain insurances that you have to have. They may require you having certain professional liabilities. I heard of an incident, I think it was last year, a couple of years ago, where this young man, he drowned. He was at a child, he was at a daycare or whatever. He drowned. So these things you have to have, you have to have that liability, your workman compensation insurance, your business liability insurance. You have to have all of these things, especially if you got employees, and it's doable. So just making sure that you connect, find out who you can reach out to, who you can contact about having all of this information. That's all I'm saying. And the next thing is, now you want to talk to a tax and, like I say, a CPA for your bookkeeping, or either once you start out, you want to be able to keep them yourself and know what's going on in your business. And you always don't ever pass on the duties of that to anybody else without you knowing exactly what's going on in your business. Utilizing a software like QuickBooks for now, and then taking that information to your CPA if you're not ready for a bookkeeper or a CPA, just having somebody on board, and you, other than a retainer fee or something like that. And then like I say, I mentioned earlier, like regulations and licensing. So these are some of the things, whatever business you're in, find out what is the regulations and licensing. If it's none, then you good. You can go on and, do your thing your way, but you need to know all of these things first. You definitely will. This is going to help you. And now the big baby that's going to help everything work out is going to be that marketing. That marketing piece is what you are going to really, after you've done all these other things I've told you to do, that, and which is good, is beneficial for your business, you probably are going to have, you just got to have this. This is going to be every day, you got to have it planned out. You got to have this thing together. And that is, like I said, your marketing plan. Who's going to be that target market for you? Ways to do it, who to target, how long, keeping up with, if you're marketing, you're targeting, if you, any kind of ways that you're marketing, you always keep a metric of what's going on. Keep up with, if you're marketing to someone, keep up. Okay, I reached out to these people. So how many, how much did I spend? Just always keep up with your analytics. Keep up with that information. You got to know, is your marketing being effective? And then before you even get there, you got to know what you're going to market, how you're going to market, finding out where you're going to get this information from. Even before you open the doors, this would be a good indication for you to get all of this information down. And that way you'll know what you can make, you'll know the percentage of, because there's always numbers that, like if you have 100 people following you, 10% of them will probably, you can probably reach, and only will be a few percent of them will buy, and things like that in business. So these are some things that you need to be, aware of and be very cautious of as you are out here doing doing business. Okay. And then coming up with your marketing plan in certain areas, demographics, your age, and this is just how you're going to target, where are they located, how many is in the household. All of this information comes from somewhere, and you're going to be able to be where the information is. You're going to be able to research it, and you're going to be able to find it. But just do remember, if you need my help with this is what I'm here for. And also, this is what I teach my students in class, and when we have classes on these kind of things. And then also, you need to know the strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats, and everything with everything you're going to implement in your business. You are definitely going to need to know that the strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. It's called a SWOT analysis. I'm sure you've heard that. This is so imperative for you. And then that'll give you an eyes view. That'll give you a vision on which direction you need to go, what you need to do, how you need to take it, and how you need to make it happen. It's just that simple. Okay. And then also, like I said, even when you are looking for your target audience, you need to find out different things about them, where they live, how many instant households, the single households, the family household, whatever your business, whatever niche your business would be targeting to, find more about those people. And if you're doing a business that's kind of locally, let me tell you, a good thing to do is a lot of times your information is right there it's right up under your nose, and you don't have to really pay. Only thing you have to do is take the time and sit down and research it. But I'm going to keep that for the courses. That's for my paid clients to know, and it's easier ways to do it. That's for my paid clients. Okay. That's going to be for my paid clients. But here again, it's easy ways to find out, and it's easy ways to market to them. Guerrilla marketing is not dead. Guerrilla marketing is, those traditional marketing. I remember when I first had my salon, I made me some flyers and I passed them out. And even sometimes, but this is not the paid thing I'm talking about. But sometimes I would get out, pass flyers out. Sometimes I would get, some areas put them on the mailbox. Some of them, they say no soliciting in the neighborhood. I do understand that. So that was back in the day a little bit. But I'm going to tell you, I got clients from doing just that tactic. I was serious about my thing. Yes. So anyway, that's just some more things. And you need to come up with all kind of ways to market your business. It really do. It need to be very well thought out. And like I said, it all depends on what kind of business you have. I give my clients different little strategies, and it's things that they've never thought about before. So anyway, now the next thing is knowing what's your financial projections, honey. Knowing what it's going to cost you to do business, even if it's come down to, if you're working from home, what it's going to cost you, what's your software going to cost you, what, if you have a brick and mortar business, what do you have to get software, what's your business license going to cost you, what it's going to cost you to market, coming up with your softwares, if you need supplies for your business, if you have a brick and mortar, what it's going to cost you, writing all that information down, then having your payroll, your workman's compensation. If you got it, like I said earlier, you talk to that attorney. What is the rate of the attorney? You need to put all of that in there. What's going to be the rate of your insurance? Put all of that in there. Find out, how much is your QuickBooks software, whatever software you're going to use. And these are some things that you're going to need. Whatever, if you have to have a transportation, van or anything like that, what's that's going to cost you? If you're going to be able to get it on a monthly payment, what's that's going to cost you? Alarm system, brochures, postage stamps, marketing, any kind of thing, anything you need, binders, pencils, pens, if you got a product line, scales, weighing scales, your printing machine for your labels, your packaging, all this kind of stuff. When I started out with the Zane Beauty Supply, I wrote everything down. I got everything. Okay, what am I going to need? All this stuff I'm telling you guys, I do it every time when it comes down to, if I got an idea in my mind and I want to sit down, I write it down. I write the vision and I make it plain. I may not implement it right then, but I have it. I have my business plan. So when I get ready to, I may have to tweak and change a little things because, prices change and there's sometimes other things are needed to add on to it. So, but at the end of the day, it's there. You better believe I got an idea of what's going on. I definitely do. And then also, when we talked about earlier, we talked about your payroll. finding out what's your federal taxes, what's your state's taxes, what's your FICA taxes, what's your Medicare, what's if you got a health plan. There's companies, if you got a few, and this is where you can set yourself apart from the next person. If there's companies that you want to be able to give your employees health insurance that other companies may not in your industry may not be doing, or somebody that's doing the same thing. Try to find out how you can, maybe that cost, and see that cost has to go on to your products and your services. And this is why it's so good to have all of this information down, so where you can pass that cost on, but you can have a little incentive for your workers, or your employee or your team, let's say your team or whatever. And then that way you'll be good to go, because you'll stand out. They'll come over there and want to work with you. And then find out what your employee need, how many hours you're going to have them working, what's going to be their gross pay, and everything, and calculate. And I got a spreadsheet for all of that for my paid clients. So when they come and reach out to me, I can kind of like go over all of that with them, along with having their employee handbook. All this stuff, all of this information is going to be needed. Okay. And then you can find out how much, I have to pay out in payroll taxes, how much will it cost me to run this business? And then I think that you'll come up with creative ways to make it happen. Because if you just don't really, really know what's really going on, it's going to be like the Wild Wild West. And then this is how businesses fail. Okay. Some mistakes I've made in my earlier times in business too. And then sometimes it'll cause you to struggle when you don't have to, and then also getting your projections together for the whole year and doing whatever needs to be done for that. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. It's good. It's good to have all that information. Yeah. So now, and then also, like I said, having documentation, because a lot of times you're going to need this documentation, like your resume. Which will be good if you're going to have all this stuff together, because when you get ready to meet with a banker or someone that may want to invest in your business, then you won't have to look for all of these things. So but if you ever want to work with me, you guys can click the link in my bio, or work with me, or you can follow me and learn more information about these things that I'm talking about, because this is a part of what I do, and this is a part of my training, what I help with when I do trainings and things like that. But my most important is, if you are going to definitely have someone working with you, you definitely want to make sure you have the job description and everything, how much it's going to cost you, how much that employee is going to cost you, and then you can pass that over. And this is how you set your prices and things like that for your business. Having like I said, having your income statement, your finance, your income statement, your tracking having your income statement, your financial statement, and your statement, your operational statements, and things like that. So this is what you need to do for starting your business. And this is just the Money Magnet blueprint that I wanted to share with you. Now, you see, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that hard, right? But it will give you a clear understanding. So we're in March 1st now. And I know a lot of you, if you are in business, and if you are someone that just starting and just have this creative idea, I want you to know that, guess what? You can do it. You got what it takes. You got greatness within you. You can make it happen. It's just that you got to sit down and plan it out. That's what you have to do. You have to make that plan, write the vision, and make it plain. That's all. That's all it requires. Write the vision, make it plain. Alrighty? Okay. Alrighty. I'm Sandy. I'm your biz strategist, and I will talk to you later. And I hope that this information is where it was something that can kind of get you to thinking a little bit more about, hey, I really need to write a plan. I really need to write this thing out. So, and then also, you can text me at Push to Dream 833-247-6465. That's Push the Dream. Text Push the Dream to 833-247-6465, and then I will send you a one-page plan, a plan that I use, and this will be helpful to you to kind of get this information out. And then join me in a, like I said, join me in a live Zoom, and then also be a part of the text messaging list. So where when I get ready to do some things, I will definitely let you know. And then if I, if I have anything, I'll let you know when I'm going live. I'll let you know if I'm going to do a Zoom live and then show you some things. Or if it's any questions that you need to ask me, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. Do not call me on a messenger, because I think someone did that the other day. Don't know whether they did it by accident or not, but I don't answer messenger. So if you want to reach me, these are the ways that you can reach me. Text Push to Dream to 833-247-6465, and I will be delighted and gladly able to let you know what's going on in the future with any courses I'm going to do, or any kind of training I'm going to do, to help you to be have a business plan that's money magnet driven. Okay, talk to y'all later. Have a beautiful day on March 1st. All right, bye-bye.